What's going on, y'all? This is gonna be real short and I want to say sweet, but it ain't because it's kind of scary. Now let me tell you about this real life situation I'm going through right now. I am naturally a jumpy person, so let me get that out the way. Um, Now I don't know how many of y'all watched the BET show Criminals at Work, but it was a first episode that just came out and all that good stuff. Now let me say this first. I am a I think the word is hermit, which means I stay in the house. I'm not scared to leave the house. I just don't like to leave the house. So, um, I have like a rose garden outside that I haven't even touched. I need to go mow the yard and all that good stuff. But I live on a cul-de-sac. The houses I want to say are about 5 feet away from each other. That's how close our houses are. I didn't grow up that way. I grew up in a neighborhood kind of like this, but we had more room between the houses. And then once I got to, I believe, 99, my dad built us a house on 3 acres of land. So so later on, me and my siblings could build houses on the land back, back how it was back in the day where you all the family stayed on the same land and lived near each other and all that good stuff. So I grew up with space and opportunity, and we are like where my parents are, we're the only house on the street. So now, of course, a lot. I don't know if you all know the story of me and my husband, but he had already purchased his house and had it built before I moved out here to work for Fox Sports at the time, and it's a mixture of people on this street. It's blacks, Hispanics, Asians. And I'm going by how they actually live on the streets. Black family, older black family, large Hispanic family. Not being funny. Black woman. I think she's single. I don't think she has any kids. And then an Asian family. In front of us used to be a Hispanic family, and it's a Hispanic family now. Us, a mixed race family. I believe the wife is I think she's white, but she could be a Latina. I'm not exactly sure. And then the husband is black. And then in front of her is a black guy, like single black guy or African. I'm not exactly sure the nationality. And then there's like some Hispanics, some more blacks, and then two other houses I don't know anything about. This is just from what I've seen when I'm outside doing yard work and mowing the yard and all that good stuff. So I'm just trying to give you a basis on what the mixture is in this neighborhood. I think one of them down there is white, I do believe, because I don't think I said white in any of that, but we're a mixture is what I'm trying to, we are a gumbo pot of races out here. So he's been living here since 2011. I moved in, once we got married. I moved into this guest room a little after we got engaged because I was like, no hanky panky before. So I did move into the guest room so I could already have my stuff here. And once we ended up getting married, I ended up moving into the room like I'm supposed to. So when I was pregnant, I stayed in bed almost all day except to go to doctor's appointments. And from time to time, I would go prune the roses and check the flower bed and all that stuff and try to, plant new flowers and all that stuff. And it was a guy across the street in a beige truck. And I thought he was a truck driver because I could have sworn I saw a truck in front of his house a couple of times. Not a regular truck, but, the diesel trucks or whatever. And I just thought, that sometimes he doesn't have, he's not there a lot because he's out driving trucks. So one time, what do you call those people? The home owners association, HOA people who get on my darn nerves. They like drive around and stuff, and they'll send you letters saying we don't want to see trash cans out front, so you need to hide them somewhere. And that's a long story, but anyway, they would come around, and so he would be gone for so long. His yard would be unmanaged, and one time his trash can fell over, and so I was, I don't know him, never talked to him, anything like that. But one day I went and picked up his trash can, because it was just laying over in the street, and I picked it up and pulled it back into where where it's usually sitting at. I never talked to him. I didn't. I mean, like, he never knew it was me, or I don't think so. I never made it a point to tell him that that's what it was. But that's, that is the premise of how much I've been to that house with this guy. The guy that I'm saying is either black or African. Now, that was, I want to say, 2 years ago when that happened. No. It was last year when it happened at some point or whatever. Or it could have, I don't know. It was a while ago though. Now, this is the part where I'm just like, did y'all watch Criminals at Work? I'm at the house. My husband is at work. He works some nights till 10 p.m. because he's in TV, so he works the prime time shift and all that good stuff. So he gets home, he's in the bed or whatever, and I'm, doing whatever with the baby. And the show comes on, we're watching it, and about this factory worker who was saying it was 3 people who were in the factory, and they were real cool, 2 women and a man, they were real cool. And she said that she felt like they were talking about her and all this good stuff, and they were spraying chemicals on her and all this good stuff. So the commercial came on for the first part, and they hadn't really gotten past that, just that she was kind of paranoid. And he started telling me, do you remember seeing cops on the street around Christmas? And I was like, no. He said, you remember seeing them around New Year's when we got back? And I was like, no, we were gone. We went home. We weren't here. We was home. So how would I see some cops? And I don't go outside other than pretty much unless he's here and we're, outside. And I haven't done yard work in so long. The homeowners association done sent us a letter saying pick our weeds up, and I'm like, whatever. So at this point, this guy has called the police on us. Now, he didn't just call it on us. He called the police on us. He called the police on, let me see. Sorry. He called the police on my husband, myself, and the neighbor next door. Ooh, that looks terrible. Anyway, he called the police on us, the next door neighbors, the neighbors next to them, and the old couple that stays in the front. So this is what happened. He told the cops that my husband and the lady's husband next door have been going in his house and changing the wires. And he also told them that they're doing something else with the Hispanic guys that stayed next door to my next door neighbor. So he's saying when I'm not here, they're inside changing wires and doing stuff. And I don't know what they're doing, but they're in here changing my wires up and stuff. And so he also told them that I go in there and poison his food. And so when he said you, I was like, me? Like, when he tell me the story, I'm like trying to make sure that he ain't playing and he ain't talking about the lady next door. So he was like, no, he told the police that you go in there and poison his food while he's not there or while he's asleep. And so I was just like, you serious? So by then, show comes back on. We break time from the story, and I'm like thinking like, what? So now the story is going on, and they go, what did they say? They said, this ponytail is bothering me. They said, okay, so the lady comes and she's like saying how they sprayed chemicals on her, and she went to the police, and the police didn't do anything, and they were like, we don't smell anything, and we don't think that they're doing anything. So she didn't believe them, and she was upset because she felt like they were setting her up and nobody was believing her, right? So it started sounding real familiar. So at this point, I'm like, pause. I want to hear the rest of the story. What's the deal? He said, well, the police was out here. They asked the questions. And after they asked the questions, they pretty much told him there's nothing that they can do because there's no evidence that we've been doing anything because we haven't been doing anything. So he said the lady, now he's finding all this information out from the lady next door because we haven't even been here to even talk to the police and be questioned about anything or to even know this. So this is some like real life crazy stuff because it's something that you don't expect to come home and hear about. So she tells him, well, yeah, and the police told me that he has a sawed-off shotgun next to his front door, and they can't take it because he has the rights to bear arms. And I'm just thinking, like, what? Did you just tell me that this crazy man? And I ain't trying to be funny, but it sounds, well, paranoid, if I don't want to call him crazy. This paranoid man has a shotgun at his front door for any of us at any point in time. If he wants to jump up in, kick our door in, shoot us because he's so paranoid that he thinks that that I'm poisoning him, and that y'all are changing wires up in his house for whatever reason. I don't know, hooking him up with some sound systems. I don't know what the wire situation is about, but why? Why? I understand you got the right to bear arms, but goodness, if somebody is calling the police, telling them stories, making up stories, and then you got a shotgun in your front door that you can use at any time. I understand, to protect yourself because you're scared, but I don't believe in guns. I'm scared of guns. And if I tell you about my story at the gun range, you would laugh hysterically at me, but I was terrified. So I don't like guns. I do a BB gun, but I won't do it outside because I think I get shot. But I do a BB gun or whatever, or air pellet gun. But I don't mess with real guns. I feel like they'll backfire and shoot me in the face or something. I don't play with them. So it's like, I think I'm gonna give me a taser. He's able to have this shotgun, and they won't take it from him. But we have to sit here and deal with it. And the story comes back on from Criminals at Work. This lady goes in and says, I'm tired of y'all talking about me, and I'm tired of y'all, y'all keep plotting on me and all this stuff, and the police ain't did nothing. So she went in there and shot all three of them. Now, at this point, I already told you, I sit at the house all day. Now, at this point, I am looking for a job and all that good stuff, but I wanted to wait till he got to 6 months and all that stuff. So I felt good about myself for not just putting them in daycare. That's not being funny to nobody who put their kids in daycare, because you got to make your money and get to work and all that. But if you have the means to where you can stay at home for a little while, watch your kid grow up and all that, then more power to you, like I did. So I feel good that I was able to do that. So now I'm like, when he gets to 6 months, I want to get out of here and get a job and all that good stuff. And plus, I don't trust nobody out here to watch him at this point, and so that's another point too. But I'm like, kind of scared now, because I tell you I'm jumpy, that he can come in at any time and shoot us. And I always have my baby in the bed with me because I'm waiting to get a glider chair for his nursery or whatever. And I put him in his crib sometime, and I'll have his little monitor on to watch him and stuff, but I can't sit in there yet without a chair. So I'm just like, I think this man is going to, come kill us. So the next day after I watched, the lady that shot the people, and the guy, I think he survived or something, or he might have died. I don't remember, but the two women definitely died, and I think all three of them died with the way she shot them. And she shot at somebody. She shot at somebody who was trying to stop her, and she missed him or whatever. And so I just started thinking, like, what would happen if he came in his room or in that nursery and felt threatened or whatever he wanted to say, and kicked my door in saying, I'm tired of you poisoning me, you little black girl, and just shot me or shot my baby or whatever. Like, I'm low key scared to live over here now. I'm ready to move. We got to go, because I ain't never heard nothing like that in my life. Like, especially while I'm not even here for the holidays. You got the cops coming around here asking questions, talking about I've been poisoning you. I ain't even been outside to mow my yard. The only time he see me is when my garage lets up for when we leave, and if we get a package, I'll come. I'll wait for the delivery people to drive off, and then I go get my package because I had to put on a robe or something. But I want to share that story. Like, what would y'all do if y'all was in this situation? I mean, this is if you don't believe in guns. If you believe in, I mean, if not, okay, it's crazy to say I don't believe in guns. I don't believe in me having a gun. If that makes sense to you. I don't want a gun. I will not own a gun. My husband cannot own a gun that I would know about. I'm scared that once Junior grows up, he'll accidentally get, accidents, all that good stuff. I'm scared of guns, period. So what would you do, or how did you feel like you would act in that situation if you had a neighbor who was paranoid, thinking that something was going on, had a sawed-off shotgun in his house, and he didn't call the cops on you? The cops ain't doing nothing, and you just saw on TV what happened with a paranoid lady who thought people was talking about her and throwing sense. What is sense? Like, she was scent, stuff that smells, something, chemicals. That's what she said. If she thought they was throwing chemicals on her that could nobody else smell but her, and she thought that they had it in for her, what would you do? Please let me know, because I'm feeling a little paranoid myself now about what I should do. Because I'm thinking that this guy is going to come in my house at any time. And like I was saying, the next day, you see the blinds I got behind me. The blinds fell in the living room, in the great room that we have, and it was really loud, a big crash. I jumped so high out that bed so fast. I thought it was him. I thought he had came, and that's really what got me really scared, because I didn't know what it was. I'm in the bedroom, whatever, and it was in the living room, and so the way the door was cracked from the bedroom to the great room, you could see through the window. And I thought he had kicked the window in or shot it. I didn't know what. It was just a real loud bang. So when I realized that the blinds were down, I text my husband. I was like, "Look, this is the last time you hear from me. I love you," and all this stuff. And he's laughing because he know I'm goofy and stuff. But I just really want to know, what would y'all do in my situation if it happened to y'all? Because it's still happening. Nothing has happened of it, but I'm just now learning. I just learned about it 2 days ago. And let's see, Christmas was, I guess, almost a month ago, which is when it's happened. But this is just my first time hearing about it. So he could still be over there being more and more paranoid, since the cops didn't do anything about it. And it's been almost 2 more weeks since then. So tell me y'all opinions. What would y'all do? All right, bye-bye.